What if I told you that the world's best open source AI model was not made by OpenAI, Google, or Anthropic, but was trained entirely on Chinese chips for just $25 million? Meet GLM 5.2, and it's about to change everything you know about AI. Hey, welcome back to the Solo Engineer, where tech meets reality. Today we are diving deep into GLM 5.2, an AI model that's making waves in the tech world. Released just days ago on June 13th, 2026 by Z.ai, the model is not only open source with an MIT license, but it's also outperforming some of the biggest names in AI. Let's break down why this matters. First, let's talk about what makes GLM 5.2 special. This is not just another AI model. With 744 billion total parameters and 40 billion active parameters, it's built for serious work like coding, long horizon tasks, complex reasoning. But here's the kicker, it ranks 51 on the Artificial Analysis Intelligence Index, making it the highest scoring open source model. That's right, it beats Google Gemini 3.5 Flash at 50 points and Anthropic's Claude Sonnet 4.6 at 47 points. And the best part, it is completely free and open source under the MIT license. No regional restrictions, no API cost, no vendor lock in. You can download it right now and run it on your own infrastructure. Now let's talk about numbers, because this is where GLM 5.2 really shines. On Artificial Intelligence Index, it sits at 51 as we have already seen, behind only Fable 5 at 60 and OpenAI GPT 5.5 at 55. But remember, those are closed source, paid models. GLM 5.2 is completely free and open. For coding specifically, look at these benchmarks. On Terminal Bench 2.1, GLM 5.2 scores 81 points. That's just 4 points behind Cloud Opus 4.8, which cost money to use. And compared to its predecessor, GLM 5.1, we are seeing a massive 19 points improvement. On SWE Bench Pro, which tests real world software engineering tasks, it scores 62.1, again leading all open source models. This is a model that can compete with the best closed source options while being completely free and transparent. Technical innovations. So, how did they achieve these? Let's look under the hood. First, there's IndexShare technology. This is a breakthrough in sparse attention optimization. Basically, it reuses the same indexer across every 4 attention layers, which reduces computational operations by 2.9 times at 1 million token context length. That means faster inference and lower cost when you are working with massive amounts of data. Secondly, they have improved the MTP layer for speculative decoding, increasing acceptance length by up to 20%. This makes the model faster at generating responses without sacrificing quality. Next, which is really cool, GLM 5.2 has flexible thinking efforts level. You can set it to max for the and highest quality and responses, or high for faster inference. You can even turn thinking off entirely. This gives you fine grained control over the performance cost trade off. Lastly, it uses a sparse mixture of expert architecture in which 744 billion total parameters used, but only 40 billion are active at any time. This is how they keep it efficient enough to actually deploy. All of this sits on the top of a 1 million token context window, which means you can feed it entirely code base, document sets, or long form content. Now, here's something fascinating from a geopolitical perspective. GLM 5.2 was trained entirely on Huawei Ascend chips. No NVIDIA GPUs were used at all. This is huge because it shows that China has successfully developed its own AI infrastructure independent of US chip restriction. And get this, the estimated training cost was around $25 million. For context, OpenAI and Anthropic spent hundreds of millions training their frontier models. So not only is the model competitive with the best in the world, It was also built for a fraction of the cost on hardware that does not depend on the US supply chain. That's a game changer for the global AI landscape. Alright, moving ahead, let's see this thing in action. I built this interactive demo website to showcase that JLM 5.2 can do code generation. First, let's try code generation. I will click on the code generation, and the prompt asks it to write a binary search tree with insert, search, and delete operations, complete with type hints and error handling too. So here two options where have been enabled: thinking effort is max and enable thinking, yeah, it's deep searched. So we will click generate response, and look at that, in just couple of seconds we get a complete production ready implementation with proper Python type hints and error handling. This is actually the kind of output you would expect from a senior engineer. Next is the long horizon reasoning. This is one of the JLM 5.2 specialties. Here we have asked to explain how a large scale distributed system should handle eventual consistency and what trade-offs are involved in the cap theorem. So here we go. It's not just giving us a surface level answer, it's breaking down conflict free replicated data types, vector clocks, explaining the trade-off between cap, CP and AP system, and even giving practical recommendation for when to use each approach. This is the kind of response you would expect from a system architect with years of experience. Moving ahead, let's try one more agentic task, and this asks it to design a complete microservice architecture for an e-commerce platform. Generate response, and let's take a look. It is giving us service boundaries, database choices, communication patterns, both synchronous REST calls and asynchronous event driven architecture. It's recommending specific technologies like Kafka for message brokering, Istio for service mesh, even deployment strategies with Kubernetes. This is enterprise grade architecture design, the kind of work that would typically take a senior architect hours to document. So how do you actually use JLM 5.2? Let's talk about getting started. The model is available in two versions: the standard BF16 precision version for maximum quality and an FP8 reduced precision version for lower memory requirements. The BF16 version needs about 80 GB of RAM, while the FP8 version only needs around 40 GB vertical RAM. You can download both from Hugging Face or Model Scope. The link I will put it in the description below. And for deployment, JLM 5.2 supports all the major inference frameworks like SGLang, VLLM, transformers, K transformers. All are compatible. And here's the quick start code. It's literally just a few lines to load the model and start generating. Now yes, you will need substantial compute to run this locally. But remember, this is a frontier scale model competing with Claude and GPT. The fact that you can run it locally without API cost is revolutionary. And for those who don't have the hardware, these are hosted inference endpoints you can use, or you can deploy it on cloud GPU instances and only pay for what you use. Let me tie this all together, because JLM 5.2 represents something bigger than just another AI model. First, it proves that open source AI can compete with the closed source giants. We are not talking about good enough for open source. This model is genuinely competitive with the best in the world. Second, it shows that the AI race is not limited to Silicon Valley. China is building world-class models on its own hardware, independent of US restrictions, and they are doing it more cost effectively than Western companies. Third, and the most importantly for us US engineers, it gives us real alternatives. You are not logged into OpenAI's API pricing. You are not subject to Anthropic's usage limit. You can download this model, run it on your own infrastructure, and fine tune it for your specific needs and deploy it however you want. That's what open source is supposed to be: real freedom, real transparency, and real competition that drives innovation forward. According to Z.ai, the company, this is just the beginning. They have hinted that they are months away from Mythos class AI model, whatever that means. But if GLM 5.2 is any indication, the future of open source AI is very, very bright. That's GLM 5.2 model, that's free, open source, and competing with the best in the world. If you want to try it out yourself, I have put the demo website I built in the description below, along with the download links and documentation. If you found this deep dive valuable, hit that like button, subscribe to the Solo Engineer, and for more real world tech analysis, drop a comment. As always, where tech meets reality, I will see you in the next one. Peace out. Thank you.